Hey guys, I'm Ash, travel addict and owner of Adventure Travel Pro. In this series, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know and do when organizing your first solo backpacking trip overseas. From overcoming fears, planning your trip, and choosing the right travel gear for you, to things like how do you stay safe and healthy while abroad, or how do you meet people and make friends, and also tips on how to budget effectively so you don't run out of money while you're overseas. It's all here. And I'm so looking forward to holding your hand throughout the entire journey of organizing your trip end to end. Now, if you're a first-time solo traveler, you're in luck. I want to give you access to our free solo travel starter pack. This pack includes access to our 5-day solo travel bootcamp mini course and also our free solo travel checklist, where I outline the 10 crucial steps you should follow when organizing your first backpacking trip. And it's all for free. Just sign up via the link below and we can get you started. Now let's jump straight into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ash, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that is super important for first-time solo travelers, and especially if you're a woman and you're planning to embark on your first overseas backpacking trip. So let's start by addressing some of the most common fears that first-time solo travelers have. And guys, before I get into this, I just want you to know it is completely normal and totally natural to be feeling fear and anxiety and a bit of stress and a bit of overwhelm about traveling on your own for the first time, and even just organizing your first trip if you've never done it before. So a couple of the points I'm going to run through shortly. A lot of us feel, even me, I've been on a lot of different trips. I've organized a lot of them myself, and still some of these fears and topics come up for me, and I have to do, I have to reflect and kind of challenge myself and confront them, even as a seasoned traveler. So let's look at some of the common ones. The first one is fear of safety, and safety is a major concern, whether you're traveling solo as a man or as a woman. But particularly for female travelers, this is something that, a lot of women fear or are afraid of because, unfortunately, in some countries, the way that they treat women might be a bit different to men. But even in our home countries, sometimes walking alone at night, even as a female, in your local destination can be just as unsafe as overseas. So it is something that we do need to be careful of. And, unfortunately for women, we do kind of have to have an extra focus on our safety when traveling abroad. The thought of being in a foreign country can be really daunting. And this is why it's so important to do the right type of preparation and take precautions when traveling alone in a foreign country. But I do promise that if you do invest the time to actually research, take the right precautions, feel prepared, you can travel safely as a solo female. And, it's all just the simple things like researching your destination or staying in well-reviewed accommodation, looking for tours that have positive reviews, and not making risky choices. So even just simple choices of, not walking alone by yourself, not walking alone at night, and instead choosing to maybe walk with someone or try and be home before it gets dark. Making simple choices like that can really help to keep you safe throughout your travels. So the second one that many people have and share is the fear of loneliness. And I totally get it. We're so used to having people around us all the time and being able to share those memories and share those experiences with people. Sometimes the idea of traveling on your own and doing a big achievement or seeing something and having this life-changing moment and not being able to share it with someone in the moment can be quite confronting and quite challenging. So for some, fear of loneliness is totally a natural reaction when considering organizing your first trip. But in saying that, solo travel can lead to you meeting new people and making new friends. And so it's not always just that you have to be traveling on your own, and or that if you're not traveling with someone, you'll that's it. You're not going to meet anybody. You're friendless. There are lots of opportunities to meet people and make friends while abroad. So I promise you, it doesn't have to be a lonely experience. And sometimes you meet people in the most random of places and they can become lifelong friends, which is really, really rewarding and quite coincidental as well. What I find too is that often when you see other solo travelers, a lot of them are in the exact same situation as you. Some of them are a bit scared. They might be doing it for the first time. They might be quite introverted. They're probably just as terrified as you are about reaching out and actually meeting new people. So you're not alone. It's something where when you're on your own, you're probably more approachable. And it's likewise, if you see someone who's traveling on your own, maybe that can be a great person to start conversation with and start to learn about their journey and what prompted them to go solo traveling. And sometimes that's the most amazing and most rewarding part of travel, is the people that you meet alongside the things that you see. Another big fear that people have is the fear of getting lost. And to be honest, I have this problem in my own country. Like, I'm always getting lost, even if I've been to destinations multiple times. Yes, I love tea. Yum. I get lost enough in Melbourne, let alone in Australia, and adding overseas to that and being in an unfamiliar destination is definitely something that can be a bit scary. What I find can be really helpful is actually there's some amazing travel apps that you can download before your trip. And you can even now, with a lot of your maps apps, so Google Maps, I love an app called maps.me. And with these apps, what you can actually do is pre-download the map of your location, and you pre-download it so you're not dependent on data or Wi-Fi to access that map. So that's often something that catches people out. I see it all the time. I've been caught out from it too, is that when you're so used to using your phone in your home country and having access to internet, just being able to jump on maps and navigate. But what we forget is we're using our phone plan's data or Wi-Fi sources to actually access those apps. So when you travel and you forget that your phone isn't connected, if like me, you tend to rely on Wi-Fi or maybe haven't bought a SIM yet, you can get caught out really easily where the app won't load because it doesn't have internet. So I find that's a really great strategy to prevent you getting lost. And so you don't have to look like a tourist with like an old school tourist with like your map out, like trying to navigate your way. And to be honest, I really suck at reading maps anyway. So like, if you don't know what north, east, west, south, or how that looks on paper, like me, the app is really good because it allows you to navigate and, sort of work your way back to your accommodation with it updating as you move, if that makes sense. Sometimes I find with the physical maps, you think you're walking in the right direction, but you can't really tell exactly where you are on the map. So it's hard to sometimes pinpoint your destination. So anyway, apps, really, really great idea. This can help you to build your confidence and to reduce that risk of getting lost and then feeling stressed and overwhelmed because of that. But something else to think about as well is, sometimes local people can be a bit scary and you've got to pick and choose the people you talk to. But they can also be incredibly helpful. And sometimes people love actually being helpful, and you can just stop and ask a local for directions. And I'm sure that they'd be more than happy to help you. Assuming that there's no language barrier there, most people are more than willing to help kind of point you in the right direction. The other piece as well that's really interesting is I've actually had situations where you think you're lost or you get lost, but then you actually end up somewhere kind of better and you get to explore somewhere where you didn't intend to go, or discover a hidden gem, or It's all part of the journey, and it's something where I don't think you necessarily need to fear getting lost. I think it's all just about doing the right preparation and having those backup apps, knowing, having a good idea of where your accommodation is located when you're in your destination. And that can all help to prevent that and make you reduce the fear about actually getting lost in your destination. Another one that I think is really common is fear of the unknown, right? So a lot of us are so used to being in the known and being in the comfort zone of our house, our suburb, our local area, and knowing where everything is, knowing where your grocery store is, knowing where a pharmacy is if you have to go there in an emergency, or what numbers to call if something happens. The fear of the unknown is really scary. When you land in a destination, you don't know where the place is, you're going to get food, maybe you lose something or your luggage gets lost and you're thinking, shit, where do I go to buy stuff? Just the fear of the unknown of what it's going to be like after you land can be very scary. But I think sometimes not knowing what to expect in terms of good culture, the language, the local customs, although it can make you anxious, it's kind of surprising and exciting, right? It's something different than what you're used to. And you kind of have to expect that you might have a moment where you do need to adjust, and you might get a bit of, culture shock when you land, and it might take you a few days to actually settle in to that new culture. But I feel like the best way to combat the fear of the unknown is doing your research and being well researched before you arrive, and having some kind of idea of what to expect when you land. You can research thoroughly the places that you're going to go with your trip, maybe learn some local phrases if they don't speak English, or even just simply feeling informed can help to reduce anxiety for traveling. So there is certain websites like Smart Traveler, for example, where I'm pretty sure now you can sign up and put in your destination or subscribe to alerts and safety information about your destination. And that way you're kind of staying updated if anything is happening in that destination, and you can prepare for it. You can, set the right expectation. So another one, a really common fear that people have, and this was one of mine. I had to kind of just let it go and be screw it, just embrace it, push through it, challenge it. And that's fear of judgment from others, worrying about what are they going to think. I'm telling people I'm going traveling on my own. Are they going to think I'm a bit of a loser? I have no friends. At the time I was single. So it's she's single. She's got no partner. All right, go enjoy being a loner. But, I think it's amazing how much we often care about what other people think. And realistically, guys, they should have no input to what you decide to do for yourself. This is amazing. This is such an exciting trip, an exciting chapter that you're thinking of doing. Please don't let other people taint it. Remember that this is your journey, right? You've got to choose and do a trip that is right for you, and embrace your decision to travel solo, and do not let opinions from others deter you from having this amazing experience. Solo travel, I think it used to be perceived a certain way, years ago. It just wasn't as common a thing. And, people, if you're not courageous and you're not used to doing things on your own, you're always used to doing things with people, then yeah, it can be a bit hard and a bit of a foreign concept. But I promise you, once you actually follow through and you decide and you are confident with the decision you're making, you won't care anymore about what people think. And the more that you travel solo, the more relaxed you become about it, and the more that you feel confident and comfortable in your own company. Even things like just going out to dinner on your own and just having a meal on the table by yourself. I remember the first time I did that, I was like, oh my God, I feel like such a loser. I'm just sitting here with my little cutlery, eating and talking to no one. Woo, this is so much fun. But what I was worried about was that I'd come into the restaurant and people would look at me and be like, oh, bit of a loser there. Like, why is she eating by herself? Like, that's a bit lame. But honestly, guys, no one cared, and no one even blanked an eyelid. Is that a word? No one even blinked. I can't even think of what that wording is, but yeah, no one even did a double take of me or even cared that I was eating on my own. Like, sometimes I've actually had it. Actually, they do care sometimes. Like, I remember I was eating a meal at a bar, like the bar of a, what do you call it? Okay, just eating at the bar with that little ledge, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and I was eating my meal to myself, just normal. And then you start to have the bartender starts to talk to you. And then, I was in, where was I in? I was in the Netherlands recently, and I was just eating Thai and waiting for my Thai takeaway order to come, so I could kind of just like leave and go. And there was a guy next to me who was a local, and we just started talking, and I found out that he's, created this new charity, and he's all about helping the sort of women in underprivileged communities actually do amazing things and like create businesses and all this, just incredible. And so like here I was thinking, I'm just going to go in there by myself and, order my takeaway and go. And like I ended up having the most amazing conversation with this local guy. And so look, I think sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable eating on your own. And sometimes a little tip that I often do is I will take something with me. So whether it be, like a journal, and I want to just note down what I'm feeling or reflect on the day and all the amazing experience I have, or I might simply start booking. So like if there's another leg of my trip that I still need to organize and plan, then I might bring my laptop or bring my phone and just like start booking things while I'm waiting for my meal to come out. Other times I book 2 photos as well. So like, if you've been just on a trip and you've just taken a ton of photos, it can be so nice to just sit there and just flick through your photos and get back in touch with those memories and really, really cherish that moment. So look, eating alone doesn't have to be shit. It can actually be amazing, introspective time and just time for journaling and just being in your own company. And then if you want, there's always opportunities where you can sit at the bar or sit at a place where people can actually approach you and start conversation if that's something that you're looking for. So you have a lot of choice there. It doesn't always have to be that you're eating alone and people are judging you and you feel like a bit of a loser. You make it whatever you want to make it. So yeah, don't have that as a fear. It used to be one of mine, and I promise you guys, you don't have to worry. It will be fine. So there you have it, my top tips for helping you to overcome fear to travel solo. Remember, it's all about setting the right expectations and also preparing yourself both physically and mentally for your trip and for the journey ahead. Traveling solo is an incredibly empowering and rewarding experience. Please don't let fear hold you back from exploring the world and discovering the amazing experiences and the things that you're capable of as an individual. You are so powerful, and probably even more powerful than you ever know. And you won't know until you actually start putting yourself in these situations and outside of your comfort zone, because that's where we grow. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful. And don't forget, if you want to gain access to our free solo travel starter pack, which includes our 5-day solo travel bootcamp mini course and our 10-step solo travel checklist, simply go to our website via the link below and sign up today. That's it for today's video. I hope to see you tomorrow, where we'll dive even deeper into the world of solo travel. I look so forward to sharing all my latest tips and tricks to help you with organizing your first solo backpacking trip overseas confidently and safely.